Hello and good morning, everyone, and welcome to Coaching Think Talk. And we are the couple coach,
I am Coach Shaun.
and I am Coach Teen, and we are certified life and mental health coaches from Life Coach Philippines. And this is coaching for
Partnerlift.
Partnerlift. These coaching conversations are for couples who are wanting to create a mentally fit environment at home. And our mission, of course, is to help.
To help 1 million families stay connected spiritually and emotionally so that they can create a faithful, hopeful, loving, and mentally fit household. Thank you for joining us live today, and please leave your digital footprint by letting us know where you are coming from today. And also, do tag a friend and circulate this video to help us reach more individuals who might be in need of what we'll be sharing with you during this session.
And of course, you may also give some shout outs to people you want to greet and reach out with some inspiring message. So do that this day. It's a Monday morning. Let's bless others. Let's do a shout out. Baka naman meron tayong friends or loved ones dyan na who is missing us or who is needing to hear from us. Then maybe you can send out a message. You can tag them along in this video and let's ask them to join us this Monday morning. And of course, if you are watching this on a replay, please do comment hashtag replay. And please note that we are streaming via FB page of Life Coach Philippines and YouTube channel Coach AI Connect. So if you are more into YouTube, we are also there. Just subscribe to Coach AI Connect so you will be notified with all the videos that's being shown. And if you are new to our platform, please like, follow, and subscribe. Subscribe as well.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Ayan, Coach Mao is joining.
Tonight, morning pa
Morning pala,
kaya.
morning pa pala. Oh, maaga pa.
Kaya
Ayan. This
overfed.
morning, Coach Mao, thank you for joining. We're going to talk about this morning the space between and how to create a safe space to heal your marriage. You know, at times we get to think about, kailangan ba talaga i-heal yung marriage? Meron bang pain and suffering there na nangyari? We'll share that to you on how, as a couple, because you are partners and you need to work with each other, work with one another, on how you can level up and make that relationship far, far better than where you are right now. I think naman lahat naman tayo, Coach Tim,
Mm.
di ba gusto natin level up ang ating relationship. Ayaw lang naman maging stagnant at hindi nag-grow in the relationship. Alright? So, if you know someone, maybe you know a friend in there na wants to create a safer space in their household, in their relationship, have them join us in this morning so we can bless them and we can share some of the experiences that we have on how they can, move forward with the relationship. Right? So if this is the first time you're joining us, if this is the first time you're watching us, if this is the first time that you're seeing my bald head,
My
yeah.
new, with my new boyfriend, ay, hindi pala, with my new husband. Parang sagwa nung
Oo.
nag-asawa ulit.
Kasi baka magtaka sa'yo, bakit doon may buhok si Coach Shaun? Dito na wala na. Ayan. Oh, nagpatanggal po muna tayo para sa summer look. We are the couple coach. I am Coach Shaun and this is Coach Tin, my better half. And we are a certified life coach from Life Coach Philippines. And we are professional life coach and mental health coaches. We have been married for 19 years and we have two kids aged 19 and 15. So 19 years old din ako nag-start magmamulat sa katotohanan and in this world. And I've been a father for 19 years and I've been a husband for 19 years and si Coach T naman 19 years din naman. So these are the things that we have experienced by far so far. The reason why we're sharing this to you para naman we can give you some knowledge and wisdom on how you can further strengthen the marriage. Di ba? Yun naman maganda, makapagtulong tayo sa iba't sa mga tao that they can get some wisdom in there para magamit din nila at may turo din sa ibang tao. And the reason why we're doing this, well, our daughter was clinically diagnosed with depression when she was 16. And we're wanting to find a avenue or a skill or something that would help her thrive in life. Na alam mo yun, hindi lang laging uminom ng gamot, laging antukin, laging sad. Those are things that we wanted to help, and we were able to find life coaching as a skill that added to us was added to us on how we can support her better. And so far, by far, we've been blessed because she's now an entrepreneur. She's a creator. She has her own business and she's earning from it. And that's a wonderful journey that we have. Obviously, we'll talk through that as we continue with Think Talk and sharing to you the experiences that we have. But it's a powerful feeling when you're able to, work hand in hand as a couple. Yung hindi kayo masyado nag-aaway, dahil may pag-aaway pa din naman. Pero at least na pag-uusapan niyo yung mga bagay-bagay para natutulungan yung mga bata. And for partners, yun naman yung gusto natin, di ba, na matulungan natin yung kids natin to become better. But of course, it starts with us as
Mhm.
couples. Coach Dave.
Yes, and our mission, of course, is to help 1 million families stay connected spiritually and emotionally so they create a faithful, hopeful, loving, and mentally fit household. In a family kasi, madali naman talaga mag-provide financially, you just give them what they want. But connecting with them emotionally and spiritually is something that is also a miss. So this is also what we're teaching. We also journeyed during our transition from corporate to life coaching. Dumaan din kami sa stage na yun. We also journeyed in that phase wherein we were able to strengthen our emotional connection and of course the spiritual connection with our God and the kids and how we taught them. So it's actually a journey. So if you're interested, just connect with us. We would be happy to do a strategy session with you so that you can create that space for your family.
All right, so let's begin.
So, space between us. May space po kami, pero konti lang. Magkasama naman kami sabay. But other than the pandemic, yes, we have a space between us when we are mad at each other. So, di ba pag magkagalit kayo, meron tagang space, minsan nga nagiging wall, or minsan nagiging ano siya eh, ocean.
Wow.
Ocean.
No,
para
parang haba
para
naman
na
yun.
yan mag-usap, di ba? And oftentimes, what we do is we use the kids as the filler between. And how many times in our life did we create that space? Or are we living now with the space between us? In a couple relationship, hindi naman po talaga naiiwasan na at times you have this disagreement or may argument. Pero how often do you have that argument na it's either hindi nyo siya pag-uusapan and there's a space between you. Tapos maayos, tapos space ulit. So, yun yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Kasi, this is, if you went back to our last episode, we also talk about conflict. But we talk about conflict, why it exists in the relationship, what usually causes it. This time, we're gonna deep dive into marital conflicts. Ano ba kasi yung meron at hindi natin naiiwasang magkaroon ng disagreement.
And maybe you've experienced a time in which na alam mo yun, nag-aaway kayo, tapos sinasabi mo na, hindi, dapat let's stay together for the kids. Yan, you put the kids together. But eventually, you just tolerate each other. And instead of really working towards what needs to be resolved, ayan, yung mga triggers natin, yung mga emotional pains natin back then, on how we can better have or work with each other. Di ba kasi pag mga ganyan naman, Coach, din, naalala ko, hindi naman natin sinishare talaga yung mga pains natin from the past and how that brought to us who we are. But nadadala kasi natin yan. Nadadala natin siya when we were growing up. And right now, even right now, nadadala pa rin natin yan. We're still able to experience that. So how are we going to move forward with that and really resolve the marital conflict? So as you see, ayan yung sa picture na yan are those spaces that you put inside. But at the end of the day, it's something that you can.
Yeah, well, technically, yung first picture wherein the kids are in the middle, may riff talaga kami niya. Naalala ko yan eh. That was a year wherein the relationship was on the rocks. Na, where parang andun kami sa moment na maghiwalay na lang kaya kami. So, nandun kami sa moment na yun. And I specifically remember that picture. And oftentimes, what we do is, when we have those conflicts, tinatakpan natin siya ng let's go out with the kids, baka maayos and all. Pero hindi kayo nag-usap. And it's really not working. Nagiging cycle lang talaga siya sa relationship.
Yeah, and that is one thing that we learned for the last 19 years of our marriage. Na kailangan talaga pag-usapan You cannot just park it. You cannot just say that it doesn't happen, didn't happen. na kailangan talagang i-resolve. You need to be able to resolve that. And that is something that we would teach to you this morning. All right? So let's talk about marital conflict. What is marital conflict? At ano ba yung nangyayari sa atin when we have this marital conflict? Well, conflict occurs when our needs or desires diverge. Thus, incompatibility arises. So, for example, di ba nung una naman, okay kayo, halimbawa, lumabas kayo, date kayo, di, ang ganda-ganda ng kain nyo, di ba? Tapos biglang may nasabi ka, tapos nagalit yung asawa mo, nag-start na yung conflict. Parang hindi ka naman, naisabi mo lang, na-share mo lang, may nakita ka lang ng observation, tapos nagalit na yung asawa mo, tapos hindi mo maintindihan, bakit ganun coach team? May sinhighlight lang, nagagalit na agad yung asawa.
Oh, ikaw din kaya. But really, what usually happens is, as we grow together in the relationship, syempre we have our own sets of friends or our own jobs, like kung parehas kayo nag-work. And of course, you encounter people that along the way, you encounter these changes and you want to grow. And oftentimes, it is no longer aligned to what is in the family. So, nagkakaroon ng divergence. Feeling nyo incompatible na kayo. But technically speaking, if you remember one of our episodes, yung incompatibility is the ground for marriage. Kasi pangit nga
Yes.
kung you are so common. It's boring. It's boring in the relationship. Technically, meron tagang, generally speaking pala, karamihan ng mag-asawa, they are really incompatible. However, because we're going through the romance stage, we forget na incompatible kayo, parang tanggap mo yung flaws. But as you go on in the relationship, nakikita niyo na ngayon yung flaws, yung mga ayaw nyo, yung mga negativity, which makes you think na incompatible talaga kami, ba't to yung naging asawa ko? And as you go along, andun lang talaga siya, yung incompatibility yun, andun lang sa relationship.
Hindi talaga yun nire-resolve. So mga ganyan, kailangan natin resolve that. And spouses will discuss different numbers of issues. Ano naman to, pinag-uusapan yung mga issues that are important for the marriage to work over time. You might have some issues that you talk about, you might have some issues that you talk about, then you forget about, di ba? Parang hindi nyo man ma-resolve sila resolve. Huwag na nga lang natin pag-usapan. Parang avoid at all cost para walang issue. And these are the things that creates conflict. And now most people think that conflicts is what's detrimental to the satisfaction or stability of marriage. But if you think about it, it's really not. Hindi naman yung conflict. It's not the conflict that's really the problem. It's how spouses manage the conflict that is detrimental to the marriage. Because conflict arises. Even with your parents, di ba may conflict?
May conflict naman talaga. So it's really more on how you respond to conflict.
Mm-mm. And even with your kids, may conflict ka. Sa parents mo, may conflict ka. With your boss and other people, there is conflict. Pero how do you manage it? That is the bigger question. Kasi kung hindi nyo nga manage at natitrigger kayo at full defensive mode kayo, nothing will happen. Nothing will work. And there are two ways for you to manage conflict. I'll share to you two. Either we settle it through a positive conversation, but again, there will be a risk
of
arguing without a resolution. So that is the first way for you to manage your conflict. Or the second, both spouses ignore the area of conflict, attempting to prevent negative conversation. So yun lang yung nangyayari. Kumbaga, sige, pag-usapan nyo, pero pag nag-escalate na, parang sige na, wag na lang natin pag-usapan, wag na natin i-resolve yan. Or avoid at all costs. Parang takbuhan na lang tayo, wag na lang natin i-resolve because nothing will happen. So these are the two things that marital conflict arises and eventually nag-aaway kayo na hindi na kayo nagkakasundo. Tapos isipin nyo, parang incompatible kami. Hindi natin magkausap. Parang lahat na lang ng pangit nakita na natin.
So darating talaga kayo sa point, lalo na pag nandun na kayo sa, yung mahaba na yung relation, like we've been together for 19 years at ang dami na din namin pinagdaanan. Pero up to now, we are still a work in progress in the marriage. It's not perfect. Yes, we are life coaches and we do have a coach, but still we have these biases. Each of us have our own biases, have our own pride na kailangan namin i-let go. So we are still working on it, but it's doable, it's possible to have that great relationship as we grow old together.
Naalala ko, Coach Kim, pag mga ganitong situations, di ba? What we do is either we avoid it, we don't talk about it, or pag pinag-usapan naman namin, end up lang kami mag-aaway. So it didn't work.
Mm.
But the beautiful thing when we went into the coaching profession, and also we hired a life coach to help us process all of these things. And it was helpful. Like right now, may mga triggers. Dati, very extreme. Ngayon, okay, sige, usap tayo. Let's talk
Kaya
about
nang
it. Let's resolve.
pag-usapan na kahit minsan may irritations, kasi tao ka lang naman, pero namamanage mo na. Hindi tulad nung dati na, um, kasi sa aming dalawa, ako yung, di ba, if you remember, meron kaming the turtle and the hailstorm. Siya yung turtle, ako yung hailstorm. So, I want, when there's an issue, we have to talk about it now. And I have a lot of questions. Siya naman, he's a turtle, he's not ready to talk about it. Give me some space until I'm ready. So, opposites. At hirap kami parehas doon. Parang, hindi niya gusto ko na ang pag-usapan eh. Pero ayaw niya. So, hanggang dumadating kayo sa moment na naghanap siya ng ibang kausap. Naalala ko na naman.
Ganap ako ibang kausap. Kasi hindi ako naiintindihan ito. Di maghanap ng ibang kausap. Huwag niyo pong gagawin yun. And, what we encourage you is to get a coach and to have a much deeper conversation with a coach to for you to be
Really
able to be in a
understand,
safe
yes.
space so that you can express yourself. Kasi ganun, yun lang naman yung hinahanap natin talaga eh. We are looking for a person that would really listen to us and understand us and, have the same wavelength na, okay, sige, naiintindihan kita. Pero tutulungan ka din kung paano i-process yun para yung decision mo, yung gusto mo, yun yung mangyayari. Hindi yung because irritable ka sa asawa mo, kaya gusto mo na lang iwalay, o gusto niya na mag-iwalay, and that is not really helping. So if you think about it, the reality about the situation, um, we need to start to think about that the quality of your marriage suffers when conflicts remain unresolved. That is really happening right now. If you continue to not resolve the conflicts that you have, then detrimental siya. And when couples are not able to create a resolution that is both a win-win, it can lead to verbal or physical abuse. I think dumating din tayo sa point na medyo nagbe-verbal, no? Nagkakasagutan tayo. May mga ganun din extremes. Because again, hindi nga naiintindihan ng partner yung need. Hindi nasa-satisfy yung need, hindi din na napapakinggan, tapos usually naman defensive mode agad, so hindi na i-express. And what we need to do as couples is we must at all costs resolve the conflict in a positive manner. Kaya lang yun nga, sinasabi na namin, nat-trigger kayo, nat-trigger tayo, so hindi tayo nakakapag-respond in a positive way. So it affects the quality of the relationship that you have.
And when you have conflict, how do you make conflict? How long do you make conflict last between you? Or do you just put it under the rug and wait for it to build up? Kasi minsan madali lang naman talaga na wag na lang natin pag-usapan. But as you go along in the relationship, mahirap tuloy ngayon when sobrang puno na kayo parehas. That at times it's so hard now to patch up na you have to journey na yung kailangan nyo na tagang mag-deep dive at mas madami kayong aayusin. So, it's very common kasi din sa relationships, no? Even sa Philippine setting. And I'm sure it's also same with the US. Yung sa communication part, pag hangga't kaya pa, sige lang. Hanggang sa dumadating na sa point na sumobra na, saka lang maghingi ng tulong, saka lang lalapit sa the others go to marriage counselors, saka lang lumalapit. What if sa initial stages pa lang, kung nagiging feeling mo nagiging cycle na, then why don't you start reaching out for help? Kami siguro kung may naging ganun kami, kasi yes, may mga kausap tayo, may friends tayo, but how are our friends really helping us process our emotions? Siyempre, there would always be those biases din. Mas kilala ka ng friend mo, edi siyempre, ikaw yung papaniwalaan. Ikaw din yun. It's your side of the story. So, walang third party na who is able to really see beyond the what you are saying. Same with him. Kung friends niya din lang tutulong sa kanya, there are what we call a devil's advocate, mga friends na, oh sige, iwan mo na yan kasi ganito. So it's not gonna help the two of you. Remember, when you entered in the relationship, hindi nyo naman naging goal na in the end maghiwalay tayo, di ba? Your goal is really to grow old together. However, as time progresses, as the relationship progresses, hindi na kayo dumadating sa point na nalalampasan nyo.
Alright. So, sa amin, creating a safe ecology is the key to transformation. We've proven that time and again that if the ecology at home is not a safe environment in which people can, trust the individual to express themselves, nothing would happen. If couples live in an ecology where neither feel hurt, judge, or criticize, then growth happens. And ito yung mga bagay-bagay na hindi natin pinag-uusapan openly. We don't really talk about it. At times we know, we feel that we
Yeah.
need to talk about it, pero hindi natin na-express, hindi natin na-verbalize. And this is where life coaching really comes in for you to understand na, okay, sige, ito yung needs ko, ito yung kailangan natin for us to have a deeper understanding of where we're at and how we can resolve the issues as we progress. So, how do we create the safe space? I think lahat naman tayo gusto natin to create a safe space for everyone to express themselves. And kung titingnan mo, yung pinakauna, balik muna tayo, ano ba yung space between? Like, ano ba itong space na to? Bakit nga ba meron ito? Iisipin mo naman, Coach, lagi naman kaming magkadikit, lagi naman kaming magkahawak, lagi naman kaming naghahag, lagi naman kaming, these things you would talk about. But the space that I've been talking, we're meaning to talk to you here, is not that yung nakikita mo talaga. It's not that you really notice. And we'll give you some points on how do you need to start reflecting on it and how you need
Oo.
to start
And
understanding
at times, hindi visible tong space na to. Especially if you're a couple na pag naiisip mo, hindi naman kami nag-aaway eh. Maayos naman kayo mag-usap. Then there's already a space between. Kasi that means you have outgrown each other. Na ayaw nyo lang pag-usapan, feeling nyo okay lang. At very common to. Yung mga, if you are attending marriage encounters, marriage renewal, we have encountered couples na sasabihin, okay naman kami, hindi kami nag-aaway, nag-uusap naman kami. But when we deep dive, they realize that hindi na pala kami talaga nag-uusap. Hindi talaga siya pag-uusap. Ano lang siya, we're just letting each other know na, hey, I'm here. Pero yung deep conversation, wala na. And they realize, iba na yung partner, in the sense na, iba na, may mga gusto na siya na hindi niya na alam. Same with the other partner. Yung isa magtataka, so bakit hindi ko na alam yung mga gusto mo? And, kasi wala na. But they think they were okay.
in the first
So,
place.
ito yung common pitfalls sa marriage na extremes kasi siya. Either okay kayong dalawa at hindi niyo lang pinag-uusapan but you have grown each other without really knowing. The second is, you always argue, nakafocus kayo sa incompatibility. Kaya, nagkaroon din ng space.
Right? So, what are the space that we create in between us na if we're not intentional, it will come out? Well, the first is the word you use. At times na may nasabi ka tapos na-trigger yung asawa mo. Kasi hindi mo alam ano ba nangyari. Tapos hindi din ma-explain ng asawa mo because feeling ng asawa mo na ina-attack mo siya. So, the words that you use is very critical on creating the conflict or even managing the conflict. So, be mindful of the words that you're using. Second is
The tone of voice. Like, in our case, ako talaga ay high pitch. Maybe growing up, I always have to make sure that my voice is heard kasi wala akong opportunity to really be heard. I can't say a thing. Di ba, sa culture natin, pag bata ka, bawal magsalita. Yan. So, syempre, nung ikaw na yung nasa marriage, you have now the authority to express, to speak. Tapos, syempre, gusto mo naririnig ka. And at times, ano ba? Hindi, kasi lagi ako nasasabihan na ang hina daw ng boses ko. So, I have to have the tone of voice na high pitch. So, siya naman, ayaw niya ng ganon. Feeling niya, pasigaw na ako, pero sa akin, hindi. So, yung tone of voice really when we speak with each other is also one. Like, unknowingly, my times you become sarcastic when you say things. Nasa tono din kasi siya, naririnig siya eh.
And yun nga, pag hindi niyo pinag-uusapan yan, it's always gonna become a trigger and you will put sa space in that na sige, wag ko na lang sabihin yun. Ay, gusto ako i-express, kaya lang ang alam ko lang is this is the way that I can express it, but because you fear na baka awayin ka ng asawa mo, sige, wag na lang natin pag-usapan. Number 3 is the glances. Yung tipong pag natingnan mo lang, tapos nagalit na sa'yo. O, di ba? Parang mga ganung situations na you tend to think about na, Ano bang nangyari?
Yeah, especially in the
Oh,
middle of an argument. Tapos, tumingin sa'yo ng gano'n. Tapos, hindi ka na nag-express. These are also what can cause a space between you na minsan titigil ka, sige, huwag na tayo mag-usap.
yep. And next is your body language. Of course, yung mga body language yan na minsan gumagano'n ka na. Di ba? Parang ano ka, nakakamot-kamot ka na or bibigyan mo na sila ng look or movement that unintentionally the person that you're talking to is already triggered by the body language that you have. And this is the things that we need to take a look at on the space that we're creating between. Because the space means na kumbaga, wag ko na lang i-express. Kasi pag in-express ko, baka mag-away pa. But we need to really solve that conflict and bridge the gap in there so that you can create a better relationship with your spouse. So, ano yung gagawin niyo? What is it that you can do for you to start to fill that space between and really bridging the gap? Yan, tanggalin na natin yung space na to para maging stronger pa yung relationship niya. I'll give you tips that you can start doing. We call this spring cleaning. Mag-spring cleaning kayo. And this is the things that you can start doing for you to create a much better ecology at home. Well, the first thing that you need to do is, of course, no shaming. Di ba? There's no shaming in the relationship. You know, at times, hina-highlight mo pa yung mga, dati
Yung
kasi ganito
pangit,
ka,
oo,
oo.
yung pangit sa kanya na parang at times you often use words na wala kang kwenta. Those are yung because of your anger, you're able to say it. Kaya nga dapat nga ano you are aware of the words that you use, the tone of your voice, the glances, your body language, so as not to create that space between you and really talk about it.
Yeah, so no shaming. No, don't even say bad words to the person because galit ka. Sabi nga, di ba, when you respond to the person, make sure you respond na hindi ka galit or hindi ka naiinis. Dapat ano ka, maganda yung emotions mo. Number two, no blaming. Yan. No, don't use the word you make me feel. You make me feel this way. It's because of you. That's why I'm like this. Because of you, that's why I speak like this. You know, take accountability.
Pag tapos na. Move forward. Pero mahirap nga siya. Like, kami din, nag-journey din kami na pag magkagalit kami, dumadating kami sa point, ikaw kasi ganito. Yan. Ikaw kasi. Laging ikaw kasi. Instead na I feel na, or feeling ko kasi ganito. Pero lagi kang palabas. So, you blame the other person. Which is really very common pag may argument sa relationship.
Yeah. And lastly, of course, no criticism. Huwag na tayo mag-criticize. You know, at times we criticize the person of the way they speak, the way they talk, the way they do things, and so on. You know, utilize it as a constructive criticism. Dapat constructive siya na nakakatulong dun sa tao, hindi yung binibring down mo yung tao. You know, at times, you get to speak to a person na you have good intention, but the way you deliver it is a criticism. So, imbis na ganahan yung tao, parang hindi na sa ginagana. Feeling ko naman
Yeah.
walang kwenta yung mga pinagagawa ko.
Kasi with criticism comes now you pointing out the values or the attitudes. Minsan yan, nadadamay mo na yung, ayan, ikaw kasi, yung pamilya nyo kasi ganito, ganyan. So, you criticize now on the attitude, which is really something that's very, pag titingnan mo, pangit siya sa relation. Kasi kung ikaw din, ayaw mo din na nadadamay na yung family mo, yung angkan nyo na wala namang kinalaman sa away niyong dalawa, di ba?
Lahat na dinamay. Solid na kita. O yan, mga ganyan situations. So what are the things that you can do starting this with the learnings that you have? I'll give to you a process no, that you can start doing. If you have a pen and paper in there, or maybe you can just do this replay at this time. You know, write down your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And gawa ka ng dalawang circle. Create a two circles. And the first circle would be what's wonderful. And the second circle, it's what's challenging. Yan. So thoughts, feelings, or behaviors that you have that is wonderful that you see with your spouse and also challenging with your spouse. And afterwards, when you see this, you know, have some time, a safe time, ayan, a safe space time for you to share it with your partner. Para naiintindihan ng partner niyo. Kayong dalawa, mag-usap kayo. And again, when you are coming into that conversation, mag-spring cleaning kayo. No shaming, no blaming, no criticism. Because these are the things that you feel. These are the things that you think about. These are the things that you observe as a behavior na wonderful and challenging. Again, hindi ko sinabing problem ha. challenging siya.
Yeah.
Because you are being challenged on how will I respond to my spouse pag ganitong minsan nakakairita. Sinabi kong
ito na yung
hugasan,
sinabi ko.
sinabi kong hugasan yung plato, hindi ko hugasan, nagwala na, di ba, nagalit na, parang teka lang, hindi ko pa nga priority yan eh, mamaya-maya gagawin ko yan. Di ba? At least kung 1 month na hindi mo ginagawa, at least in the next couple of months, gagawin naman. So, ginagawa naman, di ba? So, these are the things that you need to converse about, talk about, so that in the future, hindi niyo na pinag-aawayan. I mean, conflict will arise, but at least you're talking about it to resolve the conflict. Again, resolve the conflict, not to part it. You really resolve it.
Yung kailangan kasi talaga siyang pag-usapan. And if it's too hard for you, seek a third party to help you out. You can drop by at the Cup Coffee Republic and we can join you in discussing the challenges that you encounter.
Yes, thank you, Coach Marife, for joining us. So, what are the common myths pag mga ganitong relationship, especially with the conflicts that you have? Well, the first myth is there's no space between me and my partner. Parang wala namang space. But if you think about it, there is really air. May air dyan. And it means the air that I'm talking about or we are talking about is the air which is our blind spots. May mga blind spots tayo. So, yun yung mga space na hindi natin nakikita, hindi natin nararamdaman. Di ba may mga times na bigla na lang na-trigger yung asawa mo, parang, may ginawa ba ako? Parang, sa puso ko naman, okay naman. May gusto lang ako i-share, pero na-trigger. Feeling mo, ina-attack mo na yung asawa mo. And these are the things that when you think about it, it's really a reality. It's something that's happening. And if you have a life coach with you that allows for you to see those blind spot, naiintindihan mo na, kaya pala nagagalit yung asawa ko kasi ito pala yung nagiging behavior ko and actions ko. Alright? Second to myth is, I only need to be present and at the moment and all will be okay. And iisipin mo, basta andun na ako, makikinig ako, I will pay attention, then everything will be okay. But the reality is, being present sounds easy, but it's not really easy. It's difficult because of the business of life. Madami tayong ginagawa, madaming gawain sa office, madaming gawain sa bahay, na hindi na natin na-focus yung attention natin doon sa spouse natin pag may sinishare, pag may sinasabi, di ba? Pag may gustong sabihin sa'yo, instead of you being focused on there, naiirita ka kasi dinidisturbo ka. Diba? You miss paying attention on the important details of what needs to be done. And lastly, I just need to quiet myself so I have inner peace and all will be well. Naalam mo to, Coach Tina, tahimik na lang ako, baka maging okay na.
Nga ako, madalas akong ganyan. Since tumahimik siya, tatahimik din ako.
Wag na lang natin
hanggang sa I could last for days, weeks without talking to him. But it's not really good because the emotions is building up inside. Siya din, ganun din. Feeling nyo lang, parang wala siyang pakialam, wala. Pero meron siya. That also causes the rift or the space between you to grow more wide. Parang mas...
mahaba nang lumalaki na lumalaki. And again, the important thing, if you reflect on it, di ba, when you're able to express yourself to someone, di ba nakakagaan ng loob? And that is where really the power of life coaching comes in. Because you have someone that you can express yourself in there and can process your thoughts kung saan ang gagaling. Para alam mo, naiintindihan mo yung sarili mo at naiintindihan mo din yung tao on what it needs to be done. And you will be able to, if you think about it, while you will be able to control your response, it doesn't really solve the problem. So, okay lang naman sige, manahimik na lang ako. But it's not really resolving the problem. And if you're not able to do that in the future, it will escalate, it will become worse, and hindi magiging maganda yung relationship nyo and also the experience. All right? So this is the common myth, if you think about it, is something that's happening with all of us and what we need to do. O diba, sabi ni Coach Maripe, okay, busy sa assignment. O diba, diba kinakausap mo Coach Maripe, tapos busy? Or minsan ikaw kinakausap, tapos busy ka din? Tapos instead na mag-usap kayo, wala, hindi na kayo makapag-usap.
Ganyan din kami dalawa. Like, gusto ko kasi pag may yung moment na pag may sinabi ako sa kanya, gusto ko yung attention nasa akin. Kasi siya, pag may sinabi sa akin, binibitawan ko at nakikinig. Pero siya hindi. Kailangan may moment siyang, wait lang, busy ako. Parang, saglit lang ha. Pero wala. You have to really be able to be aware of each other's differences and really understand where he's coming from.
May science din dyan na yung mga babae, gumagana lahat ng brains nila pag nag-i-engage sila. Pag lalaki, mga 2 parts ng brains lang. Yung binasa ko to kagabi, ganun pala yun. Kaya pala yung asawa mo pag sinabi, nakikinig ako. Tapos pag sinabi mo, sige nga, ulitin mo nga yung sinabi ko, parang, wala na. Kasi kailangan nila mag-focus. Kailangan talaga yung lalaki, baba yung lahat ng ginagawa at makinig. Ayan yung mga kailangan gawin. Alright? Sabi ni Coach Maripe, ano ba to?
Three times yan ang sinabi, di
Ay,
maalala.
hindi nga. Kasi dapat ibaba talaga ng lalaki. Yan talaga, Coach Maripe. Natutunan ko yan. Kaya si Coach Tim, pag kinakausap ako, pagbaba ko muna lahat. O sige, mag-usap tayo. Ayan. Kasi pag sila, di ba, pag ano, naalala ko si Coach Tim, pag kinakausap ako, habang may ginagawa, kinakausap ako. Or pag may sinasabi ako, may ginagawa, nakikinig, nagigets niya. Pero pag ako sabi ko, bakit ganun? So, binababa ko na lang lahat. O sige, ayan. So, mga ganun.
Alam mo na, Coach Maripe.
Kaya nabawasan na yung away
Mas
namin.
magaling yung babae.
Ah, mas ano, science yan, Coach Marite, kasi lahat ng brain gumagana sa babae. I think it's tapos yung lalaki, dalawa lang yung gumagana. So, kailangan ibaba lahat ng lalaki yung ginagawa nila. So, sabihan mo yung asawa mo, baba mo. Alright, so if you are in a situation right now where you feel that this space is really, air siya, di ba? Na parang hindi ka na nakakahinga masyado, hindi ka na nakaka-breathe fully, you're not able to really do the things that you want to do. We invite you to this coaching class. It's understanding you and me. It's 10 ways to strengthen your relationship. And the way that we need to really have an understanding is how we can get together as a couple to really communicate with each other. Kasi yun yung nagiging challenge. The communication is one of the biggest challenges of any
Yeah.
relationship because yung words na ginagamit, minsan yung words, hindi natin ma-express, hindi natin ma-verbalize, or sometimes the word that you use triggers the other person. And when you're able to have the clarity of that, you're able to communicate it, to make out of something, to make sure that the feelings that you have, you can verbalize, and naiintindihan ng partner mo. And this is something that you can do. So, imagine a space in which yung asawa mo na express nila tapos naiintindihan mo. Di ba ang ganda? Ang ganda ng feeling na, okay, sige, may conflict kami, pero nai-express mo na. Tapos, excited ka kasi, may natutunan na naman tayo, may naiintindihan na naman tayo, na yun pala yung trigger. Naalala ko si Coach Tim, pag may nag-aaha moment yan, pag nag-uusap pa, kaya pala ganun naiinis ako sa'yo because of this. O sa naisip ko, sige, tuwan-tuwa ako. And likewise, vice versa, pag ganun din siya, naririnig
Pero
niya ako, ang
remember,
ganda.
we did that because someone helped us. Hindi talaga ganun kadali yung process na yon, unless there is really someone who will be able to facilitate it for you. At kami, because we are into life coaching, mas naano namin siya, mas na-enhance
Okay.
namin yung communication. But it's a journey. Even at this time, meron pa din kaming mga nadidiscover in us na it ay yung sa attitudes, behaviors, that at times still triggers each other. Pero nakakaya siyang i-manage.
Yeah, but in coaching, if you go through this, I tell you, your relationship would change. That's something that you can do. Now, if you think about it, coaching, if coaching for you, it's not coaching. Yung coaching is not for you. If you don't love your partner, then coaching is not for you. No, this is not something that would help you with that. If you don't want a lasting marriage, then coaching is not for you. If you don't respect and love yourself, of course, coaching is not for you. And if you don't want to grow and become a better person, coaching is not for you. Hindi yun yung ano sa coaching. And if you don't want to grow, if you want to grow old alone, coaching is not for you. Coaching really allows the individuals to come together and bring in, have a deeper understanding of what they want for the future. So, what is coaching if you think about it? Coach Tin, ano ba yung coaching?
Well, coaching is really unlocking a person's potential to maximize their own performance. It is keeping them to learn rather than teaching them. So, coaching is a process where you learn about yourself, what you are good at, what's with, and even your partner. So it's really something that could facilitate the process for you.
Oh, imagine mo, hindi ka nagtuturo. Kung natututo ka talaga, yun yung nangyayari.
And it's based on the belief that the coachee always has the answer to their own problems, and that's why it's so empowering. Yes, and even if it's between the two of you, it's even if it's we talk about the relationship, alam naman talaga natin yung sagot, but at times we don't like it. So, anong ginagawa? How do we do it in coaching? We allow the coachee to see a different perspective of their problem so that they are able to really make the right decision for their relationship. And coaching helps people reach their full potential by helping them to unlock their thinking and remove barriers. It's worth noting that these barriers are often mental, created by the coachee themselves. And in the relationship, remember, we all have these assumptions, especially when we are in conflict with each other. We have these assumptions. It all starts in the mind. So, kung may gusto kang sabihin, na-formulate mo na lahat sa utak mo na, nagawa mo na lahat ng assumption, nagawa mo na lahat ng pagdududa and all before you speak it out to your partner. But in coaching, it allows you to see beyond those assumptions, to see beyond those judgments.
Right?
And coaching doesn't advise, and all the content is the coaches. For this reason, the coach does not need to have a direct experience of the coach's role. So, pwedeng yung problem namin, hindi nyo pinagdaanan. Pwedeng magkaiba yung sitwasyon natin, but I can still help you. Because what we will do is we process what you're thinking, what your emotions are, and what action you want to take instead of really being able na hindi kita matutulungan kasi hindi ko siya na-experience. So we don't deep dive into what happened, but we deep dive into how you are feeling now, you're thinking now, and what your actions are now moving forward.
All right. So if this is for you, if you feel that this is something that would interest you and if something that would help you as you journey along in your marriage, let's have a strategy session. Contact us at 0917-806-4200. Book a coaching session with us. It's complimentary. You don't have to pay for it. Just have a conversation with us and see how we can support you in your journey. Invite us, or if you want to visit us, go at Bicap Coffee Republic. It's in Pioneer Center compound along Pioneer Road, Capitolio, Pasig City. Yan sa harap lang ng Bayanihan Center. All right. So again, if you want to move forward and have a deeper understanding of you and me, your spouse and yourself, and 10 ways, get a learning of the 10 ways to strengthen your relationship, just connect with us. Connect with us. The message fee is 4997. But if you enroll in the next 48 hours, it's 3997. Yeah, we just need 10 students for us to continue with this program. This is something that would really allow you to, level that up, that relationship. Kasi lahat naman tayo gusto natin improve yung relationship natin and how we can become better. All right?
Yep. So just connect with us. You can message me at 0917-806-4200, or you can also visit our Facebook page, The Couple Coach. So as we have this conversation, we want to invite you to be part of what we are doing as an organization of professional certified life coaches. So do join us together. Do join us later at 2 p.m. We have Coach Maan for coaching for healthy mind space, and I will be back at 4 p.m. for coaching for relationship.
All right, so let me us invite you as well to be part of what we are doing as our organization for professional certified life coaches. Do join us for an sorry, I would also like to invite you for Master Coach ACO Actively Co-Create Life Coaching Certification Program. This is a comprehensive approach to learning and mastering life coaching as an active process of creating new path to achieving life success. Yeah, achieving results in life so that you can be successful in and inevitable in every coaching relationship. It includes a 21-day web-based learning. Part po kami ng batch number 1. It's a wonderful journey. And a 3-day live coaching bootcamp with Master Coach A. And a 3-day live business bootcamp with the senior coach, which is si Coach Tin ang nagpa-facilitate noon and other senior coaches. The program package also comes with many other bonuses to connect. So connect with Coach Rizal through 0917-586-1661 to discover the opportunities that is waiting for you in this profession. I tell you that certification is powerful na pwede mong gamitin sa mag-asawa. Kung mas maganda pag couple kayo, magpa-certify kayo, I tell you, your life will change fully.
Yeah, so once again, we are the couple coach, and I am Coach Teen, and this is
Coach Shaun
from Life Coach Philippines for Coaching Think Talk.
Coaches like us think and talk like this. This is us in the Philippines. Labang boom, labang boom, labang boom. Thank you, everyone. See you. Bye-bye.